I got into vocals because the real reason is because I was poor. So it was the only instrument that was free. So that was like, I wanted to do band stuff when I was younger, but we just couldn't do that. So I was like, well, and the other reason is that I've always been into like impressions, and I just love doing voices. And it's any time, like since I was a child, if I hear a noise, I immediately am like, and then when I heard metal for the first time, I was like, how are they doing those noises? And just instantly, it was Beneath the Sky. Actually, that's why 7861 is on all my shit, is because that song is the one I just, like, for hours just tried to imitate that guy, and finally got it down, and then it took me, like, the rest of my life to figure out lows. And highs, and then just, like, I have no idea how to do the other one. Yeah.
I wanted to do vocals when I was younger because of Whitechapel. I was a MySpace deathcore kid, and I heard Somatic Defilement for the first time, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to do everything in my power to do it, basically. And I did it bad for about 7 years because I just didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have the resources that everybody else has now because there's so many vocal lesson channels. You can, like, you know, go to actual teachers that teach you how to properly scream and all that stuff. I didn't have that. I had Melissa Cross, you know, Zen of Screaming. That's like what I use. I mean, kind of like what Austin was saying too, like he likes doing impressions. That's pretty much what this is. You're trying to do impressions of other people vicariously. By doing that, you have your own voice.
The one that sounds the coolest is the Grizzly one, just because when people are like, dude, do a scream, and it's like, okay.
I'm not a very good teacher, but one of my favorite things to kind of just whip out as a vocalist is definitely highs. Yeah. I can access highs really quickly and a lot easier than lows. I'm not a false chord vocalist, which is what you are, which is where he's fully utilizing his diaphragm. It's like a chest voice thing, where I'm a fry vocalist, so a lot of my tone comes from my falsetto, my head voice. So it's not as loud or projected as Austin's is.
Which doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's a total misconception.
Don't listen to people online.
But somebody taught me how to do like goblin highs, which is like you kind of like talk like a little witch for a bit, and then you add more to it and do some weird shit.
That's the best part, is once you learn like the very basics of screaming, it's just all about having fun, and it's like, if I stick my tongue here, this changes a little bit. And then you have the bass noise of, that one is this thing that goes into, you talk like this before you scream. And then I do a normal scream and then just do the tongue thing, and it becomes more monstrous. And it allows me to open my mouth all the way, which is not normal for lows. Usually you have to have like a smaller mouth. But when you do the Grizzly thing, your voice is already starting lower, so you can like really project it by opening your mouth more, and it still stays low, which is cool. And then when you actually do close your mouth, it becomes more of that, like, the walrusy thing people call it. It goes from and it's like a little more beefy sounding. But they lose a lot of enunciation when you do that one.
It was a long journey. I did it, like I said, I did vocals wrong for like ever, so long. And only when I started doing vocals live did I learn how to properly control what I was doing. And even then, I'm still learning. I'm sure you're the same way. There's always stuff.
There's always room for improvement.
Yeah, which is fun. And we're in a crazy time for vocalists right now, too, because everyone is trying to do the craziest shit they possibly can. But I've kind of sacrificed that recently and decided to more focus on writing good lyrics and then having the vocals fit the lyrics a little bit more. I do water bottle blows. Let me tell you what that means. So I have a water bottle and I have a metal straw usually, and I fill the water bottle up about halfway, and I go through all of my major scales, ascending and descending, and I do them all through a water bottle with the straw, blowing through the straw into the water, and it creates like a resistor for your lungs. So you're building strength in your lungs for endurance, which is perfect for, you know, when you're about to do a set. So my warm-ups are about 20 minutes, and then I do the same thing for a cool down, but half the time. Kind of the same way you were talking about throat singing. It massages your throat and your larynx, and you just feel ready to rip. I don't drink honey. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't have tea. I don't nothing acidic. I usually always avoid anything with acidity in it.
Most of the issue is that when people like hear the sound, they like like they like quietly kind of do it, but just like to get the initial bass sound, you just gotta like kind of project, like, you know what a theater voice is, when you kind of project your voice and you kind of talk out here a little bit more. You feel it immediately, like the difference of like being down here and kind of talking like this to like, like you can, once you push it a little bit, you start to feel some contractions happening of like, okay, there, and then you can do the compression on stuff, you know, if they're getting the little resonance of whether it's fry or false chord. I think that little pushing to like, you know, your singing voice too. I think that's a big thing Justin Calla taught me, is trying to find your fry. If you like hit whatever note you can sing that's the highest, try to go past it and your voice will naturally crack into a fry essentially. And it's in between those two is where the fry is, of like that note you're trying to reach, and when your voice breaks into that like kind of thing. And so that I think is the initial, because then you'll hear it and you'll feel it immediately, be like, oh, it's right there, and you just gotta like workshop the in between to like nail your fry.
Like false chord guys can't comprehend fry, and fry guys like me, I can't do false chord.
It feels so counterintuitive to how you've been doing it your whole life.
It's very polar opposite. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.